these guys spoke on.
Yeah, and I think what could be helpful is we're human. We experience all of these things from time to time as well, and we work hard on overcoming these things. So we were going to share some relatable stories, and I'll kick it off and then throw it to you guys. One for me that stood out recently is unrealistic expectations for myself. So working through a little bit of rehab on a shoulder, coming off a competition that kind of maybe aggravated some rotator cuff muscles. I took it in my own hands, began this mobility overhaul program for my shoulders, and committed every day, not even 3 times a week, every single morning in my morning routine. And I had been doing it religiously, all these new great exercises for 2 weeks. And I remember having this mindset of like, why isn't my shoulder better yet? And I caught myself and I said, you know, you've been doing this for X amount of time, you've been feeling this for X amount of time, and you're projecting a complete result in 2 weeks of a program when it's a longer process of rehabilitating your body. And we say this all the time, like tweaks, injury, setbacks, they take time, and respecting that process. And I was missing out on all the things that were improving because I was so fixated on getting back to 100%. And I'm glad I was able to catch myself and not promote that out into, you know, the team or just in general. So that's an example that I've experienced with unrealistic expectations. That was rather recently.
Yeah, I'll go. Comparison, and I think that it's been 9 years of this journey in CrossFit, and it's happened in and out at several times. And I remember starting with a group of people, and there was predominantly ladies at that point in time. And I remember everybody was making so much progress, so much faster than me. And I've learned over the 9 years that my body just responds a little bit slower, no matter what it is, whether it's strength, whether it's nutrition. And I remember just getting so dark and wanting to quit. You know, why would I give up this thing that's bettering myself just because I'm not, you know, meeting other people's standards instead of myself? You know, that was one story. That's one part of the journey. Another part is, you know, that ideal body. You know, there's a lot of times where I can get extremely down on myself because I don't have the body type that maybe I feel as though I'm supposed to, like others do, that are in this game as long as I have, or maybe even shorter than myself, which is like even sometimes a harder pill to swallow. But it always got me into a place where I would want to stop or I'd want to give up, and I had to take a really hard look at myself and be like, why am I going to give up something that I love for feeling as though that I should be where somebody else is? And through that, now it's just, I learned so much about myself that I'm able to like kind of run my own race and be my own journey and love myself. And it's such a beautiful place. It's a more beautiful place than being in that constant comparison game where it just was never happy, always angry, always upset, wanting to throw in the towel, and just it never felt good.
My story, so I've been working out here for almost as long as the gym has been open. I'll be 10 years, I think, in May of next year. I think of fitness for me, it's kind of like as like two parts. There was like the first 3 to 4 years that I worked out here, then like probably the last like 5 or 6, where in the beginning, you know, I was working out with Sean and another group of coaches. We were working out a ton. You know, I'm doing the right thing. I'm training hard, right? We all had these like, you know, lofty goals. If Sean came close to making regional, we were pushing that, supporting him, and all trying to reach that. But along with, you know, doing the fitness part, like I was maybe not taking as seriously the other right things that I should have, like sleeping as much as I needed to, eating the quality foods that I needed to, managing my stress the way that I needed to, where, you know, sometimes I would, you know, for 3 or 4 days be on a good kick of sleeping and eating and doing the things I needed to, but then the weekends rolled around and a buddy of mine, go on a bender. Me and a buddy would enjoy going out to Albany and hanging out up there for 2 or 3 nights, and I'd come back and roll to the gym and be like, this feels okay, doesn't feel great, but hey, we're doing the thing. And I think the thing that really changed for me was 2 parts. Taking a look at like what I really wanted. Like, do I want to strive to be this more competitive athlete? Do I want to aspire for these things, or do I want to go hang out on the weekends and do these things? And you know, what do I need to do to better serve those goals? But another thing that really helped anchor kind of like point me in the right direction and get more consistent with the right things was I started doing more team competitions, and having that team to anchor you down. We're like, okay, like I'm not just responsible for myself, I'm responsible to 3 other people who are expecting me to show up and perform and do the things I need to, kind of like the 3 here. It's like, if I don't do the right things consistently, like I'm gonna hear about it from these 3, so we need to make sure we're on our P's and Q's and things there. But yeah, a little snap in the hand now. But you know, the not doing the right things was the big thing for me, like in you know, kind of looking big picture, like what do I really want, and kind of lining those goals there.
For me, I'm gonna say that prior to coming here, I was a notorious hopper. Like, I've tried everything in the book other than being consistent with one thing. So I've tried my hand at keto for 2 weeks maybe, had 0 progress. I've even tried something called carnivore, where that's you only eat meat.
I love carnivore.
It's nice. You only eat meat and eggs and cheese and like animal products. Obviously 0 progress on that. But I've tried so many things, and it was even a running joke with my friend that I would switch up whatever fitness program that I was doing. So one day I'd be doing this 3-month fitness program that I had, and then he'd be like, well, okay, so what's the workout tomorrow? Oh, I'm going to the next program. Just because I never was having the progress, because I kept going from thing to thing, rather than just being centered on, I'm going to stick with this for 3 months, I'm going to do it to a T, and that way I'm actually going to get the progress that I'm looking for. So definitely by just focusing on one thing, rather than trying to find all of the options, by settling down on one thing and actually setting yourself maybe 30 days, I'm gonna do this every single day, or 2 times a week if it's something you wanna make a little bit more attainable. By doing that, rather than focusing on everything else, it's gonna be so much easier to get that progress you're looking for.
Yeah, so